Don't ask anything too difficult.
We're live in the pits of Motorcast. It's your host, Dave. I got a line special guest, Top Hawk funny car driver, Chris Foster. How you doing, Chris?
Oh, doing great tonight.
That's good. So, did you have fun in Indy?
Indy was all racing is fun. Indy, in light of all the COVID, wear your masks type stuff, that's the only bad portion of it. But everybody's getting through it. So yeah, we had a good time. The car ran well. Struggled with it a little bit at the beginning, but it's starting to come around.
That's good. So, how many more events are you going to run this year?
As of right now, we're going to run the U.S. Nationals, then we will run the regional in Earlville, Iowa, and the regional in St. Louis, and then the national event in Dallas if it is happening.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year this year with the COVID-19.
Makes it real hard. We're working on basically a race-to-race type schedule. See how well we do at one, and then we pick what we're going to do next, and then see if they cancel it on us.
Yeah. So now, Chris, how did you get into drag racing?
My dad was partners with Stan Stripe of the Radolution Automotive car, and back then it was a B-modified production car. When Stan Stripe retired, he had a blown alcohol dragster. So I was 15. I'd been going since I was 5, and they let me drive we had a comp eliminator car, a dragster at that point, that I drove when I was 15. And that's where it all got started. And about 5 years later, I decided that we quit for a little bit and took a little break while I graduated and did some schooling, and then we decided, well, heck, I wanted to do an alcohol funny car, and we started in a lower level class, a 750 bracket class Midwest funny car, and then we graduated to the UDRA, and then from there we went IHRA racing, and then to NHRA.
So how did you do in the other classes?
Midwest funny car, we were always a top contender there. UDRA, we won the championship, the funny car championship in 2000. IHRA, we finished anywhere from 7th to 9th usually there. We were in the top 10 usually. And then we came over to NHRA, and we won 2 regional championships, and we've won U.S. Nationals and Brainerd Nationals. So we got 2 national events, which they're the hard ones to chop off the block there.
So how was your first time experience driving a Top Hawk funny car?
It is absolutely the funnest car. I can't imagine driving anything else because it's you have to have a clear mind. It's a very complicated car to drive, but it's unpredictable, and there's always something new happening. It's a really, really fun car. I drove the comp eliminator car, and that was a dragster, and that thing, it was basically a point and poke in the dragster, the longer wheelbase, and with the shorter wheelbase, it's hold on.
Now, what kind of body is on that funny car?
Right, currently we've got a Camaro body on it, so we fit in with all the other people in the top alcohol Camaro class. There's not many things left but a Camaro out there.
So what's the quickest pass you made in the funny car?
And what's ironic on the thing is we went 547 back in, what was that? It was the 11-12, I think it was, in 2012. And it has eluded us ever since. We've been 550, 551, but we struggle to get back in that 40 zone, and we're trying some new things now and trying to work on a different tune-up and a different approach to it. And I've got some good people that are standing behind me and trying to show me some of the way to get there. So.
Now, if you ever have time between all the NHRA events, would you ever go run one of the Funny Car Chaos events?
We did a Funny Car Chaos, and at the beginning of the year, when everything NHRA was on hold in Eddyville, Iowa. So we did that, and it was absolutely a ball. It was no stress, a lot of fun. All of them guys over there are great people. I did not meet one person that would steer me away from it. It was so much fun. I would definitely do more of that.
Yeah, that's what all the drivers tell me that do the Funny Car Chaos. Yeah, they all have a blast.
Chris and Tara are great people. They're great promoters, and that's the one thing I noticed is, as a fun smaller event, they packed the house. Even with the social distancing and everything that had to be maintained when they were in Eddyville, there was still a great crowd there, and the fans just love that group.
Yep. Man, it's awesome. As long as you got a funny car body, you can bring that car to the Funny Car Chaos, and you can line up with a nitro car. You get to see those big candlesticks going on the side of you down the track.
The thing of it is too is when you go to Funny Car Chaos, it's something for everybody. There's all types of budgets there. There's lower budget cars, there's higher budget cars, and they all run. And essentially, the higher budget nitro cars don't. If you look, they don't always win. It's not it's not stacked up that way. And other than Ken Singleton, Ken kills it. He's got it figured out everywhere he goes. He does really well with that alcohol car.
Oh yeah, he dominates Funny Car Chaos. That's for sure. Now, do you have any drag racers that you look up to?
Oh, well, I look up to. I always wanted an alcohol car, so I'm going to say that I stayed in the alcohol ranks as far as looking. There's cool nitro drivers, but the alcohol drivers are still where I'm at, And Frank Manzo, you look at Frank Manzo, and then there's Lou Gasparelli, and actually our chassis we purchased that we're running now. That came from the Gasparelli camp. We bought it from Steve and Lou back years ago, and we're still running it. And probably one of my favorites, and some people will recognize this, some people won't, was the car was based out of Galesburg, Illinois, which was the Haywood Near Funny Car, and it was Donnie Haywood. And as a little kid, being 5, 6, 7, you look at that car, and that was where my love for alcohol funny cars came from. So I looked up to them guys, and they were a great group, and they ran very strong in the Division 3 ranks back then. And so, it's alcohol racers. Alcohol drivers are it.
So, Chris, what do you enjoy most about being a drag racer?
I love racing. I love speed, and everything about it is a good thing. I love the intensity that it, and my team is good. The team has really gelled, and my dad and my stepdad are both on the team, but I've got people that have come on and friends and that, and we've all gelled and we've all become family. And when we weren't racing, what I missed the family atmosphere of racing in the other teams. They've all become good friends. Essentially, when I'm at home, in the shop on the car, or the other end of the shop working on cars on the automotive side, trying to make money. And then I honestly don't get to spend a lot of time with local friends. I get that time when I hit the road and we're on the road and go racing. So camaraderie is very good over there.
Now, is there anything you hate about drag racing?
Oh, the cost, naturally. But there's no way around that. I'm used to that. I'm used to it after several years. You're just like, oh, well, it is what it is. And but no, basically no. I mean, we spend the money and what we can in our budget, and we just enjoy it. I mean, there's times that, like anything, you get on the road, you know, somebody gets mad because somebody else ate somebody's sandwich or something like that. You know, we all become little kids at points and argue, but hey, that's what we do, and we get past it. And when it comes time to race, we're all in, and we race as a team, and we tune as a team, and you know, there's no single person stands out on our team. We're a group, and we collectively make decisions.
Now, if you could have your fans remember one thing about you, Chris, what would you want that one thing to be that the fans remember about you?
Oh, boy. As of right now, it would be our U.S. Nationals win. I mean, that was such a high point in our racing career. I don't know that we can really top that. The U.S. Nationals, and you know, when we did that, you know, we had to beat Frank Manzo. We had to run through Tony Bartone. You know, we had to beat. It wasn't a give me a race. We had to race for things, and the car ran well. And it was a high point. As of right now, that's still my high point of my racing career.
So you would want the fans to remember that event?
Yeah, that was something. It still gives me goosebumps when I watch the tape of it.
Now, do you think you could become a better driver? And if so, how would you achieve that?
Oh, there's always. I'm still always learning. I still make a lot of mistakes. I mean, this weekend at Indy Q1, you would have thought that it was my first day in the car. I mean, I've made hundreds and hundreds of laps, and Q1 was. It started with didn't turn the computer on. I did a horrible burnout. I backed up. I don't know what I was looking at or what I was thinking. Left before the tree was activated. I mean, every rookie mistake that can be made, I made it all on one run. Got it out of the way, I guess. So I felt really bad because they came to get me at the other end, and the team all looked at me. All I could do was apologize for how bad a job I did.
Now, is your family involved with drag racing?
Yeah, my dad and my stepdad, they take care of, they work together behind the motor plate, which people think that's a rarity and weird situation that my stepdad and dad are, you know, teamed up on the back half of the car. They do the clutch, transmission, and rear end stuff. So, my daughter's involved. She loves going and helping out. My fiance goes, Christine Chambliss, so she's always involved with helping out with the car, and we try to make it the whole family deal. And you know, Hudson, Christine's son, we keep him involved. I mean, we need new life in drag racing. We need to continue it. We need to make sure that the younger kids enjoy it and can be part of it, and that it'll sustain life throughout all this.
Now, who are all of your crew members?
So we got my dad, my stepdad, then we have on the engine side, Matt, and up front on the front half of the car, we've got David McDermott, and David's a friend of mine, and he started coming along just to go, and so now he just wanted to go and be part of it. Now he reads computer and helps on the bottom end, and we have Jesse Clark, who he does the same thing. He's bottom end computer, and we all collectively look at the computer and make our decisions on that as a team as to where we think we want to head. But then I have my daughter Josie. She helps with it. She's the cleanup person. She cleans oil pans, empties the puke tanks. She's learning to adjust valves now. She's getting involved with doing more and more all the time. So we all, that's our basic group, and we all just hang together.
Now, did you hear the interview I did last year with Christine?
What was that with Christine?
I said, did you hear the interview that I did with Christine Chambliss last year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're struggling a little bit with their car right now, and I mean, with that car we ran good in Denver, and struggling with it now, but we'll figure it out. I mean, with her car, she's going to go to Billings, Montana will be her next race.
Awesome. Now, when you're out there on the starting line in the funny car, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions at all?
Yeah. I mean, I have to. My biggest thing is I'll always put my left. I will only put my left glove on first. It always has to be the left. They'll hand me the right glove, and I refuse to put it on. I don't know why, but it's just a thing that I have to have the left glove on first. And I mean, I have my pre-race ritual of, I get hyped, I hype myself up, and I ain't afraid to hit the side of the car or punch the car or whatever and get pumped up. And then before I crawl in, I'll say my prayer and make sure that we're going to be safe for the run, and that hope that it's A to B and we have a good run. So nothing too crazy on a ritual.
Now, do you have any sponsorship?
None. No. The shop at home, my shop at home, and that's what pays for our racing, and we just work out that budget, and that's what. And outside of that, we don't have anything else.
So
would love to have something, but this stuff it's hard to come by. It's hard to. You're an alcohol racer, so you don't have the TV exposure that a nitro car does, and then you get local, and they say you travel too far with the alcohol car to be a local sponsorship. So you're sort of caught in the middle at times.
So your sponsor is your pocketbook.
Yep, all the way. Most alcohol racers, I think that's where it is. It's their own business is a sponsor. The name on the side of their car is the name of their business.
Now, are you ever going to put a name on that car?
For this year, so we've raced Funny Car for 20 years. So when we started it, we were Midwest Funny Car, and every car had a name back then. And the name that we had was Everybody's Nightmare. So this year, when we put the Camaro body on, we went ahead and we put Everybody's Nightmare back on the side of the car, and tried to bring back some old school. I think it brings more to the class when it has a name. I think that's the neat thing about Funny Car Chaos, is because Funny Car Chaos has every car has a name over them.
Right. Now, is there any meaning behind the name? Well,
no. We had some. We sat down and we were looking at it, and back then there was sheer craziness too that was in Midwest Funny Car, and there was the American Way, and we just started throwing things out and started narrowing down the list. This is what we decided that we liked and came up with, and our graphic guy came up with some really good graphics back then to do with it, and it just sort of stuck.
Oh, now I see it. I'm looking at a picture. It's way on the back tail end.
Yep, on the back tail end.
That's why I was asking if you were going to put it in. I didn't even see it way back there. Like,
That's where, and some of it, back when we ran Midwest Funny Cars, it was the whole length of the car. And we thought, well, we'll just start with it back here and see how we go and how it goes. And
so maybe eventually it's going to go across the car?
Yeah, we might change it up and do something totally different. And maybe go back even old school and put some of the old graphics back on it that were on. We had a Camaro body back then, and we had some graphics and that would probably look pretty good on this one. We'll see how that all goes after this winter.
So what kind of preparation goes into getting this alcohol funny car ready for a weekend?
Well, we just got home from Indy, so the car's in the shop and it's disassembled. I mean, we pulled the clutch, the transmission out of it, the motor's pulled apart, and we check everything out on all ends of the car. And then we just take our time putting it back together, check the chassis, and just inspect everything. Motor-wise, basically, we look, take it apart and look at the pistons and the rods and check the bearings and make sure it leaks okay, do a valve spring check, and essentially put the motor back together. Clutch is all new, we change clutches all the time, so every round, so it comes home and gets serviced and surfaced, and pick a transmission of what we think we're going to run for the next race and put it all back together, and it's ready to go back in the box after a couple of days.
Now, do you have any favorite tracks to race on, Chris?
Favorite track to race on would, hands down, is Norwalk, Ohio. It's absolutely what I consider the nicest track on the NHRA Tour. Paved pits. It's more of I tell people that it's, outside of the racing surface, it's like going to an amusement park the way Bill Bader runs it. There's the concessions, everything is just top notch. And then you go to the racing surface, and it has to be one of the smoothest racing surface to race on, and it runs like clockwork. If he tells you you're going to run at a certain time, you're going to run at that time, and it's just a phenomenal facility when you pull up there and the grandstands are that tall, and it's a little nerve-wracking at times because you pull out and because he packs the house and there's a lot of people in there. When you definitely, if you can get stage fright, you don't want to look up.
Now, do you prefer quarter-mile racing or eighth-mile racing?
Quarter-mile racing is my... I grew up quarter-mile racing, and like Funny Car Chaos, we did with the eighth mile. It was okay, but it's a little mind-boggling. I've done so much quarter-mile racing that when we go to the eighth mile, I have to really train my brain to know that I'm only going half the distance, and you need to be shutting off and thinking about where you're at. It comes up quick.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
Most of our safety equipment probably is just a split between Simpson and DJ Safety. So Ben at DJ Safety takes care of me on a lot of things, and then Simpson takes care of us. I'm a Simpson helmet and Simpson fire suit guy, and DJ pretty much takes care of the rest of it. Excuse me. Ramjet takes care of like all of our ballistic restraint stuff, like engine diapers and blower bags and trans blanket. So we sort of spread it around.
Now, what have been what milestones have you reached so far in your drag racing career?
Well, we finished everything we've run. We finished what I felt we left with our goal achieved by either winning the championship or running well in the top 10 of there. We've won 2 regional championships, 2 national events. We've finished. Essentially, we might not have won it, but we finished second on the regional side many times. And like right now, we're 3 events for this year. It's 3 out of 5, and we're 3 events in, and we're leading points. So we just got to keep our head up and keep trucking on this last 2 against the rest of the competition, and try and win another regional event. I love regional racing versus national event racing. It's more relaxed, not so chaotic as the national events are.
Now, Chris, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or close calls?
Let's see. We've crashed a car back in the UDRA days in Minot, North Dakota. We crashed a car there, and then we crashed a car in Norwalk, Ohio, and we crashed that car in the shut. Both of them were in the shutdown that we've. But those 2, both those cars went. It was wrecked bad enough that they were replacement cars at the end of those 2 wrecks. And I mean, we've had some close calls with some bumps and bruises along the way, but I think that's just normal in alcohol racing, especially in a funny car.
Well, knock on wood, Chris. No accidents.
Yeah, exactly. Christine tries to keep me up on the straight and narrow all the time. I always hear it from her if I do something over, drive it out of the point of no return. She's like, well, you should sure overdrove that. So I've gotten away with a lot of overdriving over the years, as most funny car guys have.
Now, do you have a most embarrassing moment on the starting line?
Oh, boy. Yeah. My most embarrassing moment would probably, the thing I'm most embarrassed would be, so when we ran those 540s, we ran a pair of 540s, we're number 1 qualifier at Charlotte at the national event, and I can't even remember how bad it was, but you could have probably brought me a pillow and a sandwich for my reaction time at that event first round, and we got it handed to us first round. And it was really to go there and do that well, and then just, I mean, I don't know where my head was at that point.
Yeah,
it was really embarrassing at that point. It was like, oh my God, just put me in the trailer, don't let anybody talk to me.
Now you have a second most embarrassing moment?
Oh, man, you're gonna pick on me for these things. Boy, I don't know. I didn't realize you were going to take me here, so I haven't thought about that. I'd have to think about that for a little bit. I'm sure there's something there that I've done. I'm sure if we called Will Hanna, he could probably come up with something.
Yeah, you're actually the first person I ever asked for a second one. Yeah. Let's get me a top 5.
Oh, jeez. No, that's not happening.
All right, now, let me ask you a couple fun questions here now.
Okay.
Outside of drag racing, any other hobbies?
So, no, drag racing consumes all of my life. I mean, that's just, I've given up when I was in high school and all that. I gave up sports. I just wanted to drag race. That's all I've done. I really don't have anything else as a hobby other than drag racing. I eat, sleep, and breathe drag racing.
All right. Well, after all these years of drag racing, what keeps you so passionate about it?
It's so much fun. I mean, the thrill of driving that car and the travel. You know, you get to do so many things. We're really, really fortunate because there's a lot of people out there who would die to be in my shoes, to be able to go race an alcohol funny car and do that. So I've been very fortunate throughout the years to be able to, 20 years of of running a funny car, and we're still here. I've seen a lot of names come and go over the years, and I'm really fortunate.
All right. Now, if you could go, if you could hit a time travel machine and go back into time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing career?
Well, I don't know. I like the steps that we took. I think probably if it was going to have to be that time travel thing, I would probably look at outside of the drag racing side, trying to secure more monetary means of back then. That all I cared about was drag racing, and I mean, I work in an automotive shop, turn wrenches, and not that that's a bad career, and it's done well for me, but I look at some of the other things that I probably could have done it's not the most lucrative career. So there's other ways to I think I could have made more money and done more things which would have helped my racing career.
All right, so let me ask you this fun question. I don't know, maybe it's going to be difficult for you to answer, but what is your favorite food you like to eat?
Oh, my favorite food?
Yeah.
That's not going to be hard to answer at all. It's definitely Mexican food. We go, and we go places, and my daughter's like, hey, we'll say to go eat, we're going to go eat, and she's like, I don't want to go eat Mexican. It's hands down, without a doubt, Mexican food.
Do you have a favorite Mexican?
And it shows.
What was that?
I said it shows because I eat too much of that cheese and all that stuff. I can put on the pounds.
Do you have a favorite Mexican dish?
Oh, chicken enchiladas are my favorite thing.
So chicken enchiladas are your go-to Mexican food.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite beverage?
Oh, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
You could do both.
Okay, well, if it's non-alcoholic, it's going to be Dr. Pepper, and then if it's alcoholic, it's Kettle One vodka and Red Bull.
Now, do you drink beer?
No, I'm not a beer drinker.
All right. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Funny, I was just watching that movie last month with the wife.
It's still my favorite. It's still one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice car that they were driving around in.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite quote in life?
Probably the one I use the most is "It is what it is." That's just what I shouldn't use that quote like a lot when things don't go right. But it just sort of stuck around here.
You have a biggest pet peeve?
That's a hard question. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that I really do. Lying probably is the biggest pet peeve thing, and just everybody needs to be honest. And
how about when people are late? How about when people are late?
I can't say that because I'm usually late. I'm that person.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite music?
Oh, definitely rock and roll.
You have a favorite rock and roll band?
Metallica, by far.
Okay,
well, Metallica. If you're going to ask me names of songs, you're out of luck because I'm that person who listens to stuff, doesn't really know the names to any of it.
I was going to ask, for Metallica, would you rather hear old Metallica or newer Metallica?
Definitely older Metallica.
All right.
Shine down person. I'll listen a little bit of everything on that end. So.
Yeah, but that hard rock metal music always goes good with drag racing and gets you pumped.
Goes good with drag racing. Goes good with vodka and Red Bull. I mean, come on, it fits with everything.
Now, when you were a little kid growing up, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch?
Oh, the cartoon?
Yeah.
It would have been Scooby-Doo. Still one of my favorite cartoons to watch.
Now, on a race day, when you're at the track, how's your eating habits? Do you eat very lightweight till the races are done, or do you eat regularly during the day?
I eat very light. I don't. If I eat before, when it comes time to run, I don't like to eat at all. I miss a lot of good meals that are cooked up in the pit area because I won't eat, and nobody saves me anything. So at the end of the night, when I get to eat, and I get whatever's left over at that point.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, black. Black is number one. Red would be number two.
Now, are you a cat person or a dog person or neither?
Dog person. Definitely a dog person. Not. No care for cats.
Do you have any dogs?
We have, between Christine and I, we have 4 dogs. So
what kind of dogs you got?
We've got a blue heeler, a Bichon, a wiener dog, and then we have it's a golden, it's a mix. It's a mutt dog that's got a little bit of everything, but she's really Cocker Spaniel and that, whatever else, poodle that's mixed with her, and she's the calmest dog. The rest of them are all doorbells. Somebody pulls in the driveway and they're barking. We know somebody's here.
It's a big dog family, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure the dogs keep you busy when you're at home.
Yeah, they love shop life. They come out from race car shop and just hang out. So they're all good with it.
Now, if you did not become a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
If I wasn't a drag racer, I'd probably pick my second thing that I like is I always thought it'd be fun to drive a sprint car. Well, that was, if we weren't drag racers, I would have probably picked sprint car racing because that looks like a lot of fun.
What would you consider?
It would be a form of motorsports, no matter what.
All right. Now, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career?
There's 2 of them, and our first regional championship, because that was something that we had never obtained. So the first is always the best. That's what I tell people. Actually, there's 3 of them. So, our first divisional regional event was Chicago, and we'd never won an event before. And we roll in there and we win that, and it was complete chaos within a range of emotions. And then we went on to win the regional championship, which was a real high emotional day because that, when it came down to it, that was, again, Andy Bowl and I were tied, and Andy Bowl did not show up at the last regional event at that divisional event at that point, which would have been Noble, Oklahoma. And in order to beat Andy, was ahead in points, but in order to beat Andy for the championship, we had to win the final. We had to go to the finals and win. And we marched through it, and we got it done. And it was such a stressful, emotional day. And then third would be going to go right back to the U.S. Nationals. I'm on a list of people that, I mean, that's some people that race their whole career. That's the race they want to win, and they never get that one. That was my first, so.
Nice. Now, if people listening to the interview want to find out where you're going to be at, what's the best way to Foster Racing page on Facebook?
Yep, Foster Racing on Facebook. We try to keep that updated. It's been a little bit lacking here lately because my daughter Josie is normally she's really good with posting videos and that stuff, and then when she's not there, we struggle. The rest of the crew's all doing something else, so we're trying to rearrange that and make that better for everybody. And we're going to try a couple other things just to have fun with it. In the future, you can look for. We're going to do a TikTok. We're going to do something on TikTok. We haven't decided what yet, but we're going to try and have some fun and do something.
Are you on Instagram?
No, I am not on Instagram. Only Facebook, and that is it. That takes my whole. I can't even keep up with all of that. I'm not a technology type person. I don't have Instagram or any of that stuff. So
no web page for the racing.
No, you'd have to talk to Christine about that. That's her job to design and all that stuff. So.
All right. So that I'm done, I'll text Christine and tell her, hey, get on the ball.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So, Chris, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do this interview tonight.
I appreciate being asked and you taking care of it. I mean, it's always a privilege.
No problem. I like to promote all you drag racers from all around the world the best I can anyways.
I certainly appreciate it.
You have any final words, shout-outs, any good stuff like that before you close out?
You know what? I mean, I guess at closing, it's like anybody that comes to the event that listens to this, because sometimes I feel like people feel like as drivers or that we're unapproachable, and you're like, oh, I can't go talk to him. He that's so and so, and he drives an alcohol dragster, or he drives an alcohol funny car. They're all approachable, and we all like to chat. So, as a fan or somebody that's on my Facebook, you know how that is. You always have friends on your Facebook that you really don't know, and there's a ton of people. They're always welcome to come by and step into the pits. You don't have to be a stranger from outside the ropes. We're not Top Fuel. Everybody's welcome to come in and talk, and I like them to bring little kids in, and we put them in the car, and we do things, and just don't be afraid to stop in and say hi.
Yep, these drag racers are humans just like we are. They're normal people.
Yep, exactly.
Well, thanks again, Chris, and I wish you the best of luck with the rest of the year.
I thank you.
No problem. You have a great night and stay safe out there.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.